Welcome to the Damn Opinion Podcast.
To the Damn Opinion Podcast.
Are you sure you want him to start?
See how hard it is, James? See how hard it is?
You've been doing this for 3 years. I haven't. I just sit over here and watch you push buttons.
Welcome to the Damn Opinion Podcast. Spoiler alert. Listener discretion advised.
I still love the spoiler alert.
There's nothing wrong with the spoiler alert.
It's my favorite part. What are we spoiling on this show?
Everything. I think we spoil everything. Nothing makes it out of here.
Did you just have dinner? We're going to spoil it.
Are you in a good mood? Spoiler.
Spoil it.
So welcome to Lost Stories. These are the stories that you hear when no one's listening.
Yeah, these are things that we do not on the air, but behind the scenes, and then we record them still for some reason.
I don't know why we do that, but we do.
Because it's actually funnier than the things that we talk about a lot of times. Because we're just free flowing talking. That's why.
Exactly. So welcome to Lost Stories.
Okay. You know, what if you could name your dog after, like, infamous people?
Like?
Hitler.
Why not?
Just go around the neighborhood. Hitler! Hitler! Here, boy! Hitler! I mean, how would that play out? You know?
Dahmer! Come on, Dahmer! Oh! Come eat your bone, Dahmer! Got a bone for you.
Unabomber! Where's the
I can't
Unabomber?
wait to bring that to the wife. She's all
Unabomber.
about those serial killers.
Want a treat? Want a treat, Unabomber?
By the way, we love Mindhunter.
So good, isn't it?
Fucks up my night.
Told you.
I know the story is not real, but all of the serial killers are based on real people.
Yeah.
And they are fucked up.
Yeah, the acting is so good.
Yes.
And every serial killer guy is really good, actually.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
And the woman in that show is really good.
And she's hot for someone who has no boobs, is super skinny, and a lesbian.
Yeah.
Is there anybody not good in the show?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Yeah,
That show is... I told you would like it.
The two lead characters are not very exciting. What makes it is those serial killers are played so well. They creep you out.
Wouldn't that be great if you could actually get that part? Bill would love that. Bill would be
Yeah.
loved.
Have you watched Fargo?
Not only the movie.
So I hadn't either because the 5th season just came out. So that's what I'm watching right now. The wife and I went back and we're watching the very first season of Fargo. It's 10 episodes. It's Billy Bob Thornton is the bad guy. And he's kind of like the guy from No Country for Old Men, but he's like a hitman. He is so good in this. And it's got a lot of references to the original movie. A lot. I mean, a lot.
Did you know that the bad guy from No Country for Old Men, they did all the psychologists said, who's the best
On
psychopathic?
screen.
And they were like, that's the best example of a psychopathic
He is so
killer.
good. Yeah, he is. I love that movie.
Yeah.
So Cormac McCarthy died, I think, last year.
Cornbread?
Cormac McCarthy
Okay.
is the author who wrote all the books. Pulitzer Prize winner.
Okay.
I've read a few of them. Amazing writing style, shitty storyteller. Hated that movie.
No Country for Old Men?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But even the story sucks even. But man, his writing style is just...
That's just a Coen Brothers movie. It's just the characters in that. I love that movie.
Yeah,
That movie's
but
so good.
Yeah, so the characters are great. And the way that's written is great. But the story itself...
So if you're trying to pitch the story, he's saying, why would you make a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. You don't see a Mexican in a suit. There's a lot of good lines in that movie. I got the cancer.
Have you guys seen Blackbird on Apple TV Plus or whatever?
Not yet.
Don't have it.
That one is good. You don't have Apple TV? Okay.
We don't have
Yeah.
time to watch it all.
There's some good shows on
that's
Apple.
true.
We're too busy trying to make babies at our house.
Yeah.
That's because you're newly married.
Yeah.
We've been trying for 4 years. I'm starting to be concerned.
Are you finding the right hole? Can you let the prisoner out, please? He's banging on the cell doors.
No worse than the dogs.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah. Of course. I'm talking about death all the time, though. I mean, I'm like, here, I believe we're in a simulation. And she's like, you're an idiot. So, you know.
That's her answer for most of your questions, though.
Yeah.
Well,
Honestly, we're dead. Why is that such a big deal?
The
We're
reason
dead.
I'm fascinated by it is because, one, you don't believe in any of that. I'm not saying you don't believe that there's something out there, that you're close-minded to it. You just don't believe in any of it. And so you're like, you don't think about it.
I don't believe that we go to a heaven or a hell like
That's
the Bible
what I'm saying.
says.
But you don't really.
We go somewhere and nobody knows where that is. It
Right.
could. Maybe we don't go anywhere. Maybe it's energy. Who knows? But it's not the biblical version
I got
for
it.
me.
I got it. And so that's why I think it didn't matter to you. And most people, it matters to them. Like,
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
That's
Interesting.
isn't it funny though? Because we fight wars, we get into huge arguments, and basically we're arguing about what happens when
religion.
we die. When we die, that's it.
It's religion too.
And we're dead.
Yeah,
It's not even about when we're dead. It's about what you're doing when you're alive.
right. Look
And
to the east.
What's so funny is I'll fight you to kill you because you don't believe the same way I do. And yet, if they don't believe the same way you do and they're wrong, then when they die, it doesn't matter. They're going to get what they deserve.
You don't get the 100 virgins?
So why do you have to kill them in the minimal time they have because they don't follow what you believe? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, this makes me realize that we're just a bunch of monkeys and we're still trying to figure it out.
You open the banana from the bottom. I'm killing you.
I do all the time, by the way. Do you?
But what I'm saying is that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
We still are just a bunch of monkeys trying to kill each other.
Yeah,
Just with better weapons today.
right.
There's no difference.
And cool video games.
What if
no
you guys
difference.
found out that the Sumerians had it right? Like they literally said, yeah, we were visited by these beings that had all this knowledge and shared all this information, and they advanced our society in a huge way. And it really has nothing to do with what we think it is. Well, I mean, if we found that out for a fact, like we actually found old writings, tablets, and everything else proving it in some hidden vault somewhere, wouldn't you be like, wow, that changes our history?
I mean,
significantly?
total ancient civilizations have just been decimated and gone.
And
all their secrets with them.
And all the wars we ever fought were ridiculous. I mean, that would change the belief of humanity in giant ways.
Yeah. Speaking of the Sumerians, they are the group that invented beer, just so you know. And the women were the brewers, interestingly enough. So we should be, raising our glass to the Sumerians.
So the women were the brewers?
Yeah.
They're staying at home. They got to make the beer.
Yeah.
Man's
Somebody's
out hunting.
gotta, mix up the mash and pour it in a bowl. Men are going to be fighting the saber-tooths.
Well, they just found that ancient city down in Mexico under all the jungle and all kind of stuff. They found more ancient cities that we just don't know about.
Yeah. They're just piled upon them.
And there's supposed to be a big 2024 UFO announcement this year.
Oh, jeez.
They keep making them. It's just like, call me when there's something cool. Have you heard about what are they calling it? The jellyfish UFO? It's obviously not not an alien thing. It is something that is tech that we don't have, that somebody else has, and that going around it.
Why is that obvious?
It's just it doesn't look. It's not moving around with any kind of thing that we can't do, right?
It almost looks like somebody in a flying kind of suit. And I describe it like they have
A jetpack, maybe
a jetpack with their stuff down on the bottom, but it goes invisible. You can't see it, and it comes out, and then it goes down in the water.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I saw that. Okay.
Yeah, the videos.
I thought you meant like a giant ship that looks like a...
Oh no, it's human size or smaller, probably.
I don't know
right?
how big it is. It's hard to tell from the video.
Yeah, it is.
But it's definitely the couple that I watched, and the stuff I was reading about it said that it's people took it and resized it and put all kind of stuff on it, and they're like, it's legit, whatever it is.
Yeah, they used some technology so you could see it better because it was kind of a.
And so they're saying, the people are saying, that the British or possibly the Danes, anyway, somebody's going to release something this year. It may not be the U.S. that they have proof of alien technology.
Well, and even if they did tomorrow announce it, how does that change your life?
It doesn't.
Well, I hope they can use it to measure the football in the football games, because this just spotting it with your eye is not working.
That's right.
Can we get some technology? Why are we bringing out the fucking chains all the time?
Exactly.
And we're an inch short.
Yeah.
They have lasers in the tennis ball when you're watching tennis and they show where it hit. Why don't we have that in the football?
Oh, it'll happen. It'll happen.
Why hasn't it happened already?
For sure. Yeah, that's a good point.
Don't want these guys coming out eyeballing it. I think he was on the 36.5-yard line. He was right on the 36.
Isn't that
with
funny?
a laser.
We'll get alien technology and we're going to use it to cook beef, brew beer, and watch football. Right? That's what we're going to do with it. Oh my gosh. We are monkeys.
I just know there's no possible way people could have built what they built with what they had. There's just no way. I'm not even talking about the pyramids. It's impossible. They couldn't. The Bronze Age, because that's the bronze tools they had. We can't even cut that with our tools today.
Yeah.
So there's no way they could have done it.
But there was a lot of stuff we have no idea how they did.
Right. That's my point. So it's just we've lost the technology. I think there's some people who truly believe there's been 7 or 8 serious civilizations on this planet, and they just get wiped every time.
Yep.
It's almost like we're a board game. No, it's like we're an Etch-a-Sketch, and some kid gets bored and shakes the whole thing and starts over.
Or it's the Great Flood, or
but there'd still be ruins unless you have everything that was under the ocean rise and everything that was above sunk.
Yeah, but if you wait centuries and then Mother Nature takes over, that's why we're uncovering all these cities. It's like lots of soot and silt has gone over them. It's weird.
Well, this civilization, unless there's a giant fire, our plastic will last forever. So we're going to have a lot of plastic stuff left over.
That's true. They're going to be like, what is this? We have no idea what it is.
It's all colorful, though.
Think about like Egyptian stuff. Nobody can even read the hieroglyphs they put on there.
Yeah.
Like we think it kind of says this, but we're not really sure.
Yeah. So crazy.
It's all a big simulation.
That's right.
It's really not. We're just monkeys running around. That's
simulation
really
8.0, and then we got rid of the other 7.
We're just tribes of monkeys. That's all we are.
Isn't it going to be disappointing when you wake up finally and realize that everything in your life was just a dream?
Yeah, I'm sitting in a trailer park with a pair of goggles on, going, oh my God, that was a great video game. And I am screwed.
I think you're going to be very disappointed when it's not a simulation. And you're like, we're just monkeys. Damn it.
Yeah. Well, will I even know? I mean, I won't know.
Well, according to him, you got to figure out what your afterlife thought is.
Yeah.
What your afterlife thought is.
And then
I'm really hoping I come back as like reincarnate in the Beatles or something. That's kind of what I'm hoping.
I heard a story.
I get to be Ringo.
I heard a story the other day that this is really interesting. I actually saw this on online.
Oh, then it's true.
No. I'm not saying it's true. I just heard this story. There's a guy out there who says, when you die and you're doing the famous thing where you're standing next to your body and you're watching everybody around you and you see that vision of everything that's happening to you, you get the feeling of warmth and love, and you see this light and you hear this or you feel this thing inside you saying, hey, come over here, right? If you don't do that and you turn around, you don't go toward the light, you just turn around, you wind up actually going back to where you're supposed to go. Otherwise, if you go into the light, you're going to get recycled into the game again.
How do they know this?
They don't. I mean, it's interesting. That's my point. Is I don't know but it's an interesting viewpoint because a lot of people have different viewpoints for their afterlife, and I just thought, wow, that's interesting. So he's saying this is how they draw you back into the complete recycle of living another life. Don't even know if you get the choice whether you're going to be a dung beetle or whether you're going to be another human, but you recycle back into some other.
But if you don't do that, then you go where?
Then you literally go back to there's no answer. It's like you come from a particular energy thing or back to or back to your original state of some kind of home thing.
Gotcha. So if you were a fire goat or whatever from, whatever, you turn back into that and then you're your authentic being.
Self, right?
What if your authentic being is a broom?
Well, let's hope so.
It's a living broom.
Yeah. You never know. We could be a gaseous being, and this is like cool because we have form and we can move our fingers and stuff. You never know.
It's true.
Yeah.
I just want to know. That's all. I just want to know. Just tell me.
Well, Karen will tell you.
Just
Just ask her.
She'll know.
Just tell me like what the alien is. Was there Sumerians? Am I just a gaseous being? Just tell me what the deal is. Am I just a monkey? Just tell me. I just want to know.
I don't think there's anything that surprises me at this point.
No.
I mean, literally, if they went, half the planet is fake. Okay. We are living on a flat world. Okay. And I would not be shocked, or my life would.
I would be shocked if we were on a flat world.
Really? Would you be? What would you do? Well, what does it matter? How did it change your life?
It wouldn't change my life, but I would be shocked.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Throw out anything. We have a flat world. Aliens breeded us. Whatever it is. We live in a simulation, or we're really, Allah is the way. It doesn't matter.
How does that change anything about what you do on a daily basis?
It doesn't. It doesn't change unless you want to go with a religion and you feel like you need to go through some certain rituals to get to heaven.
Would
something.
you spend all your money to get on a boat and try and make it to the edge of the planet?
No, I wouldn't, because that's not fun. It's not fun at all.
Well, you don't like boats.
I don't like oceans. Boats are fine, but unfortunately they have to be on an ocean.
That would be hilarious.
That's the bad part about a boat.
At that point, you could join the Flat Earth Club. You'd be like, I knew the whole time.
That's right.
You think the ocean's a death trap? That would be hilarious. You're on a boat sailing to. Oh, there's the edge. Okay, I feel better now. Woo!
Yeah, no kidding. Well, to flat earthers, the entire Antarctica is what is
there's a giant wall.
It's the crust on the pizza,
stuff.
basically. Yeah. So then I guess you're supposed to walk through Antarctica and then jump off. It just
is there an off? Is there you would fall?
I don't get it, but everything else is a globe except for us.
Is it though? We've only seen one side of the moon.
Do we have a flat sun? No, we don't.
How do
we have a flat moon? No, we don't.
It's circular.
Yeah.
That's all you know.
That's true. I guess they could all be flat.
And circles. So. Circle flat.
Yeah.
Circle flat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah. It's so crazy.
Somebody did a funny little video with Danny DeVito from Always Sunny in Baldur's Gate.
What? Like he's a character in Baldur's Gate?
So they have like some of the cutscenes and they put them in on their scenes from like Always Sunny. Like the one where he's like slimed and other stuff. Oh my God, it's fucking hilarious.
Is he a monster you have to battle, or is he just a character?
No, it's a video and they've cut and spliced him in
that's hilarious.
to like the cutscenes that you get in the game.
With you. Yeah.
And he's like, when he's talking. Oh God, it's fucking hilarious. I love Always Sunny.
Wow, people are very creative, but they just have nothing better to do with their lives.
Yeah, that could have been like a 30-hour endeavor for this person just to put something stupid like that.
Or they're just so technical it took them 15 minutes.
Yeah, one of the two, right? But only because they've been doing that for all their life, doing stupid ass shit like that. Yeah. I used to be the master of Microsoft Paint, And I would have people
I want you to put that on your tombstone.
Yeah. I knew how to do all this stuff on it because I would be sitting there at my desk, and back in the old days.
Not working.
Well, I would be working, but I'd be like kind of like multitasking, doing something so I'd be selling phones and stuff. And we'd only have like 2 game type things. And it would be, one of them was the, what is it? The Minesweeper. Minesweeper. Thank you. And then the other one would be Microsoft Paint. And so I became an expert. 10 years of just blah, 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 fooling around. I became an expert at that thing. And then I went to my next job. And this is before like everybody had Photoshop and you could just do these things, apps on your phones. This is before the phones. So everybody in my office is like, can you put the face of Joe onto a goat for me? And I'd be like, sure. And they'd be like, you are a god, a Microsoft Paint god. And I'd be like, yes, I am. I remember my boss pulled me aside once and it was like, I need you to do something for me. I'm like, okay, boss, I need you to do this. And it was like some little stupid jokey thing. I was like, okay, so you want me, just to be clear, you want me to spend the next half of the day doing this instead of my job? Yes. Okay. Just making sure.
I'm telling you, on your tombstone, father of 4, expert at Microsoft Paint.
I'm actually, number one, Apple didn't have anything like it. They did have some sort of a paint thing, but it was not as great. And then Microsoft Paint updated their paint, and it was just not as good.
It's true.
God, I hate that. And there's some knockoffs on it, but I mean, I'm sure you messed with it too, because I know you. I know you. Yeah. Mark never opened it ever.
I did stupid little stuff, but I didn't mess with it.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Speaking of fathers of four, there's a guy back in the 1800s. His name was Caesar Chester. Yeah, weird name.
Caesar Chester.
But he married 3 different women. Okay, no big strange thing there. He lived to be like 85 to 90. 3 wives, 25 children.
Wow.
25 children.
That's a lot of children.
None of his wives, except for the last one, lived beyond the age of 30.
Really?
Yeah. They all died under the age of 30. And that's kind of weird.
There's no way that
his last one lived to be about 60.
Oh, okay. So are you saying that they died and so he found another wife?
He did.
Okay.
And they were all young. Look, so he could have been 50 and they were 20.
They had 8 kids each or whatever, and they were tired.
And
but back then, people, sometimes you just didn't live. You got the flu or you got whatever.
Yeah, but he
lived
died through all 3 wives.
There's no way he took care of all those kids. It was the older daughters that took care of all.
I'm just telling you, 25 kids, man. That's quite a
spreading your seed.
I guess so.
Speaking of that, you're going to be a grandfather, Mark.
I know.
Yeah. Are we going to call you Pappy?
Nah, Pappy.
Pappy Prickles.
I don't know.
I think your grandkids should call you Prickles.
You have to let the grandkids pick your
That's true.
grandfather name, though.
That's true. You got to just let them.
Hey, asshole.
I would love.
I hope they call you Ghost. Hey, Ghost.
It's always
Where's
something.
Grandpa? Where's
Papa,
Grandpa?
Gaga, dot, dot. You know, it's always something. Baby talk.
Carhartt. That's what they're going to call.
Carhartt.
That would be awesome.
What Carhartt?
That would be great.
Carhartt.
What a great idea, though. I'm serious. You can get a Lord of the Rings medal by hiking the distance from the Shire all the way to Mount Doom.
Do you know, I just saw a map online, a map of the United States, and that's like from walking to like Florida to like Indiana and then back to West Virginia. It's like that much. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Wow.
You think?
Think about how Frodo and Sam. Can you walk the United States in a year? Sure. Right? It's 3,000 miles across, right?
If all you did was stop when you had to, yeah, sure.
But you would have to walk a long, how many miles a day? 10 miles a day? That's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
Do you know that Art Garfunkel of Simon and Garfunkel, his goal was to walk across America. But what he does it in chunks at a time. So he'll go and he'll be like, I'm done now. And then he catches a plane and then he flies back to the same place he was and then does it again.
Yeah, because it sounds amazing until you're walking across Wyoming.
Right.
Well, especially
or Arizona.
The middle of winter. No.
Yeah.
Pick your way.
That's a hazy shade of winter.
Everybody's thinking, oh, I'm just strolling. At some point, you have to cross the West.
Mm-hmm. That would be crazy. If you won the lotto, would you consider that? Like, hey, why not?
If you won the lotto, would you consider walking across the U.S.?
Just because you could, you know?
If I won the lotto, I would hike the PCT or I would hike the Appalachian Trail or both.
Crazy?
Then I would go hike the Santiago or whatever down in...
Oh, the one where you follow
not
the
the Carmen
Saints? No, where they
Sandiego.
follow the Saints. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's like Carmen
That one is
Sandiego.
totally up your alley.
The Carmen Sandiego one?
Yeah.
Because it's all a cappella? Where in the world?
No. Because you literally hike from like town to town.
No, if you won the lottery, I would just buy a frickin' Harley and ride the U.S.
Oh, yeah. That would be good. Yeah. That's what one of the guys, I think in Pink Floyd or something, he did that. Just drove around.
If you won the lottery, though, if it was big enough, you'd have people go ahead of you and you just stop at whatever they said.
Yeah, have Jeeves set up a nice tent.
your whole
I'm going to
tent
glamp tonight.
No. If I win the lottery, we're having our own cannonball run.
Oh, yes.
That would be hilarious.
That would be great.
See you in New York.
Especially, no. It would be great. It'd be fun if you start from the same place, but if you literally just started us 2 miles apart, same distance, but 2 miles apart, then it would be hilarious.
I would totally have you arrested on the way because you would just take a bunch of meth and just keep driving to be the first one there. So I would have you arrested and held for a couple days.
You guys wouldn't believe the sights I saw.
We would have to put like stipulations on it. Okay, we're going to meet in Colorado first.
Oh, and you stop.
And then you take like times.
Okay.
Oh,
I like
yeah,
that.
that's cool. That's really cool.
I like that.
And
That
who
way
cares
it's-
if you get a speeding ticket, right?
Yeah, that way it's fair because you could do Colorado hauling ass in probably about 14 hours.
See, what would be fun too is you only have $20 on you between locations, so that way you can't cheat, because obviously you could cheat.
And you can't fill your tank either.
Well, no, I mean you'd use
Yeah,
a
you gotta
credit
be able to
card.
get gas.
No, use a credit card or a gas card for that.
Where do you eat all your food?
I'm just saying.
At the gas station.
But that's the
your
funny part.
receipt would be $80 in gas, $80 in Twinkies, lemonade, and beef jerky strips.
I'd be wired until I got to that location. And I'm like, I am so tired.
So I want to let you guys. I follow this guy on Instagram, and he's already done it, but he started in Alaska and rode his bike all the way down to the tip of South America.
Well, that's downhill.
All downhill. That's so easy. Yeah. So what's so cool is like the very top of Alaska, wherever he was out in the boonies. And the one thing that got him was like the flies. Apparently there were just in Alaska at the top, just so many flies. They're like, they are eating me alive. They're biting me. They're eating me alive. And it's like, it took him a couple of days to get out of the flies.
Like the little gnat flies? Or like
no,
these are
like
house
actual
flies?
like house flies, just
Really?
coming in and biting them. Like, well, they do horses and
Yeah,
stuff
those
like
horse
that,
flies. It's a
right?
horse
So yeah, it's a horse fly, I guess. But yeah,
Then
they were
he
coming
shoulda-
in
He
and
should have gone in the fall.
go on a what?
In the fall when they're less.
Oh, maybe so. I don't know when he did this, but obviously he tried to time it. So weather-wise,
Yeah,
it was
because
cool.
everybody who does the PCT, they start from Mexico and go up to Canada.
Wait, he went how far? He went from the tip of Alaska to where? Panama?
To the bottom of South America.
That's a long way. How long did that take him?
I don't know, because I'm watching it and it's like, here's day 2.
Was he
and
avoiding
every
machetes
week,
and like guerrilla warfare and everything?
like one time he parked, he had a tent and stuff like that. Somebody stole all his shit. So he was like, great. And then there were people, this was in Alaska still, and they were like, hey, come and stay with me.
How did he get past all those road marks? I mean, literally, it was a passport, riding my bike, passport, riding my bike.
Well, he had to get into Canada, and this was during COVID. He did it during COVID, and they wouldn't let him in. So he had to change his route, take a ferry down, because, Alaska actually has a little tail that hooks really close down to the United States. So he went down that way, and I think somebody was like, okay, we know you're American, just go through. And he kind of got through, luckily for him. But up at the top of the border where it was more common, he wasn't let
So he
through.
didn't technically do it then.
No, he did. I mean, he did get on a ferry because he had to, at one point. But I mean, that still counts as far as I'm concerned.
I'd rather do the PCT.
You know the hardest part. It's not the part. Would you start north and then head south, or would you start south and head north?
You start south and go north.
I know.
Why?
Because it gets crazy
Snow.
hot. Yeah, by the time. Also.
You can't start up top because most guys start in April or May.
Yeah.
Wait, how
There's
long
too
does it
much
take
snow.
you to do it?
Long
Months.
time.
Most people start in like April or May and finish in September.
Yeah.
Okay, so wouldn't it make sense that there is more snow up top, and so you start there?
How do you find the trail?
You
When
really
it's
want to
15
hike through
feet
the
deep.
middle of the desert in
Plus-
September?
Plus, when you're up in Canada,
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
and I mean, if you look at the weather right now, do you want to be hiking through Washington and Oregon in the snow and cold?
Oh, where
and
does it end?
blizzards?
Where does it end?
Do you listen to me? Mexico to Canada.
Oh, okay. I don't listen to you.
You don't.
I don't. That's the beauty of this podcast.
Mexico to Canada.
You are somehow related to Charlie Brown's teacher.
What's all this hoopla going on about the royalty?
Oh, I don't know.
Because-
My wife started to fill me in this morning because I asked the same question.
I am losing my mind here. Not that I don't care anymore, but every other thing I see when I'm like scanning through stuff is all about the bells are tolling at Buckingham Palace. Okay. What does that mean? Marriage, birth, death? And they're like, we don't know who it is. Could it be Prince Charles because he has cancer? Could it be Kate Middleton because she went through an operation and really, was she in a coma? Did she die? Could it be Meghan Markle because they finally killed her? I mean, seriously, what is it? I mean, no one knows. Everyone's doing all this social stuff around it and news media. I think it's fake. I don't think anything's going on.
It's always that way.
What I don't get is there was something where one of them, I don't know these people, you know them, was taking a picture in Buckingham Palace with her kids.
That would be Kate Middleton.
There you go. And she got a bunch of shit for kind of photoshopping the picture. Who cares?
Because they don't
Who cares?
They don't think she was there. That's the point.
Oh, they think it was, she put her face on her face.
Kate Middleton literally went to the hospital for some normal kind of operation, but I guess she went into a coma. This is all hearsay.
There's no proof she went into a coma. She had like a stomach surgery, apparently.
Okay.
So
as near as they can tell.
Yeah. So that's
so they're very private, and everyone is losing their mind that they haven't seen her. And yeah, they released some picture, and she said, because she's on like Karen was telling me this morning, some photographic society. She's
the official photographer of the royal family.
She likes photography and everything, and she says she did the photoshopping, but like her ring wasn't on, the hands were cropped.
Yeah.
People were looking at it like the tiles weren't lined up. It's like, oh my God, who has better things to do? I don't know. It's a lot of hubbubaloo about nothing at this point.
And Prince William, future king, right?
Yep.
Any day now.
He went somewhere that he doesn't normally go. And I forget where it is, but it's like, what is all this stuff going on with the royal family?
There's always royal drama with the family.
I mean, no wonder Prince Harry's like, I'm out.
Well, he's a nut job too.
You know what I learned? You know what I learned?
What?
You know, when you think of a Viking or a Roman warship, how they traveled through the water?
Yeah.
With oars, right? You know, the Japanese did the same thing, but they weren't built the same way. The oars on Vikings and Roman ships go out sideways, diagonal into the water. Uh-huh. They go straight down in a Japanese warship. And so they do like a push-pull to cause the oars and the ship to move. It's pretty interesting.
A push-pull.
Yeah, so you basically, you're standing or you're sitting, but the oar is like in the water, and then what you do, I don't know how they do it, but they kind of lift up and then push, and then kind of lift up and push.
Yeah, so it
interesting.
Like they'll twist the oar so it can go sideways without doing anything.
Oh, I get it. They twist it. That makes sense. Okay.
Spin it back to do the front or backwards.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe a little harder on the wrists, but maybe more efficient.
Hey, slaves didn't care.
Yeah. They really did not care with the slaves.
You didn't apply for that job.
Yeah.
They're like, you are a rower.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good luck.
Don't you want to be the guy that does the drums, though?
Yeah, that would be great. I feel I would get that job. Not because I'm good with rhythm or anything, but just like, he can't row.
Well, exactly.
He'd be singing to himself while he's hitting the...
They'd be whipping Bill faster. Oh my God, this guy's terrible.
Yeah.
Row.
Yeah.
So funny.
But I'd be a hell of a drum player.
Like he missed a beat. What? I saw a Karen video where this woman is irritated because this man bought a Happy Meal. And she's like, why do you have the Happy Meal? And he's like, I'm hungry. And she's like, well, why do you have a Happy Meal? You could have got something else. And he goes, I like the Happy Meal. You get a little toy, you get some fries, you get a drink, you get the sandwich. And she's like, no, only pedophiles get Happy Meals. And she had she had kids in the McDonald's, right? And he's like, why are you bugging me? Get away. And it just tells me that people are just running wild with their thoughts.
Yes.
And they're not even reality.
Mind your own business.
I saw a similar one the other day. They were in, it looked like a Chili's or something. And this woman was berating the family because she's like, you have kids in a bar. And they were like, it's a restaurant. She's like, they are in a bar. And it's like, it wasn't like a bar.
Okay, let me get it straight.
You know, it looked Chili's. I don't know what it was. It looked like a Chili's or something similar, right? There was a bar in the background, but you could hear tables and bustling.
Yeah, and you can sit around the bar at tables, but you're not at the bar.
I used to take especially my oldest, to Buffalo Wild Wings all the time. Yeah. Because we would get done with games and we'd go sit in the bar area. We wouldn't sit at the bar, but we'd sit in the bar area. Because if you tried to wait and get the tables, you'd wait 15 minutes to sit down. We'd go sit in the high tables in the bar area and get food, and there's TVs right there. We're technically in the bar, but it's not a seedy bar. People are like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's Buffalo Wild Wings. Come on.
Please. People are so strange.
I hope someone does that to me so I could stab them in the eye.
Yeah, me too.
with a straw.
I would stab him in the eye with a hot wing. Come here.
Speaking of that, do you ever have a problem putting the straw in the drink? Like it bends or it doesn't go in?
That sounds like a problem.
Well, you know, because in the new lids, they seem to be so tight you can't get that straw in there. There's a way to do it. Do you guys know how to do it?
No, how do you do it?
If you cover your thumb over the top of the straw, the air pressure keeps the straw totally strong. and it punches right through that.
Now I know, because I really hate it when my straw bends and then there's a little hole in it and then you get air in it.
And air in it and everything else, yeah.
It's horrible.
But if you cover the top, you can do it.
That's amazing.
Life tip.
So you had a tow truck story?
Oh, okay. So the tow truck story is this. Mark and I worked at a gas station together where we were not only taking the money from the gas station, but we
were
also
pumping.
Yeah, we were. Oh, yeah. For a while there, we were actually doing the full service thing.
I was kidding. I didn't want to.
We did,
have
though. Yeah. Oh, did we have those?
No, we didn't have the credit card thing.
No, but we went for for like a summer. There might have been some like washing of the windows or something like that.
I didn't do that.
But we also
I didn't do that.
But what we also did is we did dispatching for tow trucks.
Yes,
right.
we did that.
It was also pretty interesting too because
And we sold cigarettes.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole other. Yeah,
Did you have like a shop at the gas station?
It was
you had the tow truck?
Yeah.
It was, but it was one of those enclosed things you sit in, like the little booth that's like 4 feet by 4 feet.
No, he's asking. There was a full-on shop.
Yeah, but we sat in this thing and never left.
Yeah, we sat in a bulletproof shop where we just took money. That's it. Okay. Right? This is before all the pumps are credit cards. So they come in and they give us money. They give us our card. And then as an aside thing, we did sell cigarettes. We didn't have a cigarette machine, but we started noticing everybody came up and wanted Marlboro.
At night, yeah.
Yeah. So
That's the smoke.
So this was back again in the 80s where their cigarettes were cheap. We'd go out and buy a carton of cigarettes. That might have been $10. Okay. And we'd sell each carton of cigarettes for $3 a piece. And people would be pissed, but they'd always buy them.
Yeah, because they're only like $1.49 for a pack.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, it'll be $3. $3? I don't make the prices. I just sell them. And they'd be like,
where were you selling these at? You were walking down the street?
Out of the little cubicle that where you open the little drawer that people put
On
money
the
in.
job you were
We
selling
got permission.
smokes.
We got permission, actually.
Oh.
We didn't even do it behind their backs. We said, hey, can we sell? And they're like, go ahead. Now, who said go ahead? Well, at first there were these one people, but then later was this other owner. They were all from Iraq.
And they didn't want a cut of it at all?
No, they didn't care.
No, because it was minimal compared to what they were getting.
The funny thing is, these people from Iraq, they had names that they're used to Americans like butchering, right? So when they're all these guys are tow truck drivers, and they would all have a call sign based upon the Alpha Bravo lexicon there. I don't know what it's called, but so we had a guy
His name was Delta?
No, Alpha was the boss. We had a guy named November. We had a guy named Umbrella. And Hotel, and a guy named William, but he was,
Yes, he's like, I'm not doing that stupid name.
yeah.
You're calling
but
me
that's
William.
really whiskey. It's not William, but he went by William. Those were their call sign names, and that's how they went by people. So we'd be like, hey, November, how's it going? Hey, Umbrella, hi, Hotel. Hotel did this the other day. So anyway, it wasn't too weird calling Alpha. That was, but when it's, why did you pick Umbrella? Like, I don't get
the
it.
whole call sign alphabet.
I would have just called him Rella. Hey, Rella.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Anyway, so
why wouldn't you pick Charlie?
yeah, Delta's cool, right? Bravo's cool, right? So, I mean, but yeah, these guys pick their names.
Whatever.
That's anyway. So on Sundays, they did not work, but every other day they would work. So one day I had a Sunday gig where I worked as basically a director of a choir.
Altar boy.
I was kind of an altar boy at this church. And so, we lived in Northridge. This was in Encino, and it was a long way. And I woke up late, and the gas station was very close.
We didn't have a car.
Yeah, we didn't have a car. We rode our bikes
that's
everywhere.
not true. We had a car. It didn't run.
It ran. It was just smashed.
It was smashed. It didn't have registration.
You can't live in LA without a car.
We didn't have insurance.
It was hard. Yeah.
It was really hard.
You can't.
Yeah. So I rode my bike to the gas station, and I was like, Mark was working, and he's the dispatcher. So I was like, I need to borrow this tow truck. We had all the keys. Well, they're not going to use it anyway. It's Sunday, right? So I get into the truck, And I drive. I get there right in time to do the choir thing.
And am I thinking, oh, he's going to possibly wreck it? Do we have insurance? No, I don't think that at all. I'm like, yeah, here's the keys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not your business.
We're not going to get in trouble anyway, right? So
till you run into somebody.
Right. So I get into the truck and I'm coming back. And of course, this is before cell phones, right? So as I get into the truck and I'm driving back, I'm getting a, hey, Bill, you better hurry up because these guys are coming for an emergency tow and you better get here quick. And it's like, holy crap. And we're hoping that they don't hear it, but we knew that they wouldn't hear it because
the trucks aren't right there. Like when you pull up, you don't see them sitting there. They're kind of behind where we're sitting, behind the station. And so I'm like, okay, am I going to have to like stall them when they pull up? Like, hey, let me ask you a question. I know this is an emergency, but hold on a second.
Yeah. So all I know is that I got there within seconds, basically. Got the tow truck, got out. I think he actually, if I remember correctly, weren't you kind of stalling them?
Yeah. They pulled up. They pulled up right in front of the thing, and they usually are going to pull around back. And I'm like, hey, I'm like doing the thing, and they come out, and I'm like, hey, come here, I gotta check something really quick. And I made something up, and they're in there, and then I see Bill pull around, and I'm like, okay, good, thank you. And I'm like, okay, so you got to do this emergency thing? Okay, well, that's cool. Sorry, I'll let you go.
Yeah. And I was smart enough to know that if they came, they'd come up to the front. And so I pulled around and back. So it was kind of like, oh, I was just here to visit Mark. And I had my bike there. So, but it's like we were going to get fired if we had gotten caught.
Well, and what's funny is like, why are you here? It's like, oh, we're just visiting, Bill's visiting me working. And they said, he hands the guy the keys, I think. And I'm like, they're like, why? And I'm like, oh, I told him you guys had an emergency.
Yeah.
They're like, whatever, you fucking idiots.
They were all young kids, normally, except for one of them was older.
Yeah. Well, Alpha was old and November was old.
Kind of old.
Yeah.
Like 28.
Well, who knows? We were 19 when we were doing all
that's what I'm saying. So. They're like 28.
Yeah.
What's great is they didn't track mileage on the tow trucks. Otherwise, they would have been like, why is there a half a tank of gas in this one?
Yeah, it was kind of fun. But we had a lot of fun with that gas station. That was lots of fun.
Well, yeah, it was a good job when you were in college, I guess.
Well, see, so when we would have to work graveyard shifts, what I would do is I got to sleep. So I literally, there would be a shelf where people would come. Literally, we'd have no more than 7 in a night, okay? So I'd put a pillow there when everybody went home. I mean, when you got to be like midnight or something. And I can sleep in any position. So I just slept on this pillow laying in the chair, and then somebody'd tap on the window and I'd kind of get up with drool connected to my, face to the pillow. And I'd be like, take their money, punch it into the thing. And then they'd pay for their gas, right? Everybody seemed to get it. This guy.
Oh no, I couldn't sleep like that.
Yeah.
No way.
So
you're getting paid to do a job, Bill.
There was one time I had been up like 36 hours straight.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I am so tired. I'm so tired. It got to be like 1 a.m. and I'm waiting. I haven't had a customer in like 45 minutes. I'm like, what is that? $10 in gas? That's it. I'm done. I go back to the back. I open the little thing I'm secure, and I go back inside the main garage, and I'm like, boom, 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 boom. I shut everything off.
He turns off the lights to the gas station. It looks like we're closed.
Everything is off. Everything is closed. There's lights where there's no lights on in the station at all. I go back out into the room where probably 1 million people have stood, and there's never been a vacuum. The floor has never seen a vacuum. I didn't care. I just laid on the floor, and I'm like, I was out for like 3 hours. At about 4:30 in the morning, I kind of wake up and I'm realize, oh, it's still dark. What time is it? Oh, it's 4:30. I go back and I turn the lights on. Not 5 minutes later, here comes somebody. They pull up. Gas. Like, oh my gosh, I can't do that
So
again.
I at least took the money. He just slept the whole time.
I had to.
Turned
I
off
was
the
so tired.
lights. And I'm not the nicest guy.
He did that once. You constantly did. You had a pillow.
Oh, I brought a pillow.
And you were getting paid to sleep.
I was.
You sleep on your own time.
But really, I mean, literally, we're talking about, what, 7 or 8 tops in a night? I'm talking about from like midnight to 4:30.
There was never more than 10. Even on a Friday night, there was never more than 10 for some reason.
Yeah, and this is L.A.
Do you ever have anybody try and break in our secure room?
No, you mean...
Yeah, that ever happened to you?
No.
Someone tried to get in? Because there was like our secure room was you go into the shop, and so the shop has a locking door, and then there's a solid door to get into the little secure room that's all bulletproof glass and everything. And I always thought to myself, is someone going to try and break in? There was one person who tried to break in. That wasn't you?
Like somebody was trying to...
There was like a homeless weird person that came over, and one of the tow truck drivers, it was late, and he was back in there. He walked in, and the homeless guy came over and was talking to him, and the guy was literally pounding on the glass door that normally you'd get into the garage with. Almost broke it. Huh. I'm thinking, I'll just stay in my locked area. Have fun with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was nice. You could get into an altercation with someone and be totally safe. It was great.
Well, you were asleep. That'd be hard to do when you were asleep.
I did not get in any altercations.
You were asleep.
Yeah. It's true.
Gas station work. Nothing better.
And we had a TV there, and we had music
there.
There
was a little TV, and there was music.
Yeah,
radio.
we could just totally chill there. It was no big deal.
We drew cartoons.
It's no big deal. I'm only at work getting paid, but I'm watching TV, sleeping, chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see where your work ethic came from.
You know, a lot of my jobs, I don't know about you guys. Did you guys have jobs where, like I remember being at a gas station job where, you know, there was not everybody was coming all the time. So what do? You just listen to music and fool around. You know, you're just bored. Do nothing.
I only worked with the public once.
Oh, okay.
In what?
I was a Finnish superintendent for Cardinal Construction.
I just heard you say a Finnish superintendent, like a Danish, a Finnish, a Norwegian. What are you talking about?
Cardinal Construction was a home manufacturer, and we built homes from dirt lot to the time you move in 9 weeks. And so
that's a good quality.
I started with them as a grunt, basically working for this framing crew. I started as a runner. And I just drove a truck around and I took the permits. If people needed stuff, whatever, I went to the different jobs and we had walkie-talkies and I made sure everybody had everything they needed. And then I got promoted to Finnish superintendent. So we had a set of homes out in Lake Los Angeles, which there's no lake in Lake Los Angeles.
I just saw something on, they did a documentary on that just recently.
There probably was a lake in Los Angeles.
So in the 80s, it was becoming like a bedroom community, and people could go down Pear Blossom Highway, like in Ventura, boop, and just drop right down in to the LA Basin. So people were buying homes out there. So my job was, after the people moved in, I drove this little white van that said Cardinal Construction, and inside the van I had touch-up paint, tools, whatever. And so after the people moved in, they would be like, I have loose baseboards or whatever, and I would show up to the house and I would fix it. If they had something major like roof damage, and I'd call the contractor back out and get it fixed. And this was the best job ever because I was 19 years old and I was driving from Hesperia, Victorville, Hesperia. And so I would get up in the morning, drive my van, 45 minutes on myself, and I'd go out, and I had a little office, and we had 2 secretaries, and I would go out to these homes with wives whose husbands were gone at work all day. And all they did was hang out in Lake Los Angeles. And there was probably 5 or 6 that word got around that I was the Finnish superintendent in the home. And so I would show up to work, and our 2 secretaries, and they'd be like, Mrs. Thompson called and wants you to come out to the house. And they would just look at me with this look on their face, and I'd be like, be right there.
Mrs. Thompson's cabinet is loose again.
You must be so hot. Oh, I spilled some lemonade on it. Let me put that in the wash, James.
Yeah, it's the desert. So there was a couple of times I showed up and they'd open the door with no clothes on, and it was a rough job.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you. Really?
It was a rough job. That was the only time I ever dealt with the public. So I never worked fast food. I never worked in a restaurant. None of that.
Gosh.
So you were private with the public.
Yes, I was private with the public. And I only had that job for 6 months, 7 months.
Because it's exhausting.
But Cardinal went out of business, and they called us all in, and they're like, we're pulling the plug. And I was 19, and I was like, whatever. And there was guys there that were older, and were like, they were mad. What? What? And I was like, whatever. And it was just good timing because I lost my job. I had broke up with this whore of a girlfriend, and I had...
Hold on a second.
I had just come up to visit my cousin.
These are questions. Go ahead.
Keep going.
And I had come to visit my cousin in Sacramento, so I end up moving. I was like, oh, great time to relocate. Boop. And I left him.
Just clarify why this girlfriend was such a whore.
Was this before or after Mrs. Thompson?
No, this is before.
I was like, yeah, hold on.
Yeah, this is before.
Okay, so you broke up with her, then Mrs. Thompson comes into view.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had been with her for like a year, and then that's the girl that I punched boyfriend of the car. Because they were...
I'm glad you clarified that. Because if you would have just paused it right there, which I might edit it out. That's the girl you just kept punching? All right.
So it was just timing. I had broken with her. I had no ties. One of my buddies had moved, so it just worked out.
All right, so now... I can't believe you punched your girlfriend, James. I can't believe that. Okay, now you can put it in there perfectly.
All right, we'll edit it.
All right, there you go.
Tune in for our next podcast when you'll hear the big, the bold, and the bald give their opinions on everything entertainment. Damnopinion.com